And welcome on into a Monday, November 10th. And Tim Burchett, Congressman Tim Burchett, is on the line with us. I'm assuming, are you in Washington, D.C. this morning, sir?
No, sir. I am in Knoxville, Tennessee, and I'm heading back to D.C. Look, they give us a 48-hour notice, so they haven't.
Got it.
I'm sure they haven't given it to us yet. But it looks like we'll be back Wednesday, probably, or Thursday.
Well, listen, I saw the post on your X feed about keeping your donkeys warm overnight. It was very cold, as you surely well know. Speaking of donkeys, let's talk about the Democrats now in the Senate, as you know, overnight. Last night. Looks like now the shutdown, I've been saying it's stupid, but the shutdown is shut down, right? So it looks like the Senate now, they have taken the votes. 8 Democrats have now come over to the Republican side. And it looks like now the process of reopening the government is going to happen on its way over to your side of the Capitol. And Hakeem Jeffries is saying that he is going to fight this at every turn. What do you think is going to happen?
Well, Hakeem has zero effectiveness. He is not even a factor. He has eliminated himself from all negotiations by his actions. He's clueless, and really, frankly, he's an embarrassment. But I think we'll get on back to business. I think we're going to, after the Senate finally passes this deal, we'll approve 3 year-end appropriations bills. That'll be ag, which includes the FDA and legislative branch, and military construction, which will be Veterans Affairs, of course. And the ag will contain the food stamps or SNAPs. They want to add these ACA subsidy extensions, and all we want is a clean funding bill. If we do the extensions, all this stuff, nonsense, it's going to give $35 billion to the insurance companies. Of course, you see Elizabeth Warren and Bernie and the rest of that crew all raising hell about it, because obviously of that $35 billion, they're going to get a huge contributions to their campaigns. Yeah. And, it's just and I just put a new video out while we're speaking about explaining some of that a little bit more in depth. But that's what this is all about. ACA or Obamacare has been a nightmare from the start. And they wanted the latest Schumer scam was to extend it for a year. Well, guess what? That would end it right about at election time.
Yep. I was going to ask you that.
Yep. That's what that was all about. They just tried to play that game. And in the past, Republicans would do it because we were clueless. And, we're not playing that game anymore. And my friend Marsha Blackburn, she called it out early on, and as I did. And I feel like we could be turning the corner on that. And, and Trump's pushing to end the filibuster, of course, that'll be heavy debated. And that's on down the road. But the problem with that in the Senate is, of course, if the Democrats ever get back in control, they'll immediately make Washington, D.C., the 51st state, and Puerto Rico, the 52nd. Yep. And we'll just be going down that road, and that's not a good road. We got to go ahead.
Congressman, can I ask, though, the other side of that argument is that they're going to do it anyway. And that's what a lot of people say, that the Democrats are going to do it anyway, so we might as well beat them to the punch, and then we'll get all of these things done. Donald Trump, by the way, has said that himself.
Right. Yeah, right. I was getting ready to say that right before you said that. That was the other side. I was playing devil's advocate. I don't have a vote in it. It's the Senate rules. But obviously, if we get it, we can pass clean election laws and stop all this nonsense that's going on, this gerrymandering all over the country the Democrats are notorious for. And we could get to smaller precincts. We could get to paper ballots. We could do a lot of things that would, and there's problematic with paper ballots too. But the problem you've got with that is, that sounds great, but does Congress have the guts to do all that? I mean, these executive orders, these things Trump passed down that people are just foaming at the mouth for, we're stumbling over ourselves. I put 22 on in the Republican-controlled House on notice, as bill form, and I've not seen a single one of them. So, it's it's imperative that people are in tune. They're not just calling me. They're calling all the other congressmen, all the other senators, and say, quit with the hearings, quit with all the BS. Let's start voting. Let's change this country. Republicans won the House. They've got a 3-person majority. We are one flu season, and we're getting ready to go into flu season. I warn people, we're one flu season away from losing the majority. Hakeem Jeffries is very clear. He knows he counts every day how many Republicans are going to be there and how many Democrats are going to be there. And we have to be careful about putting stuff on the floor because they could make a vote and take over that day. So but Donald Trump won overall. He won huge numbers. No argument there. I think we better start adopting Trump's agenda and quit with all our nonsense of these hearings because we're not doing anything. Our messaging has stunk the last 40 days. I have put out 20 or 30 messages a day, and I dare say most of my other members have maybe 1 or 2 a week, some of them. And, I just think America needs to hear what you're doing, and we're not doing that, and we're terrible at it. And I've talked to the leadership, and it's always a pass the buck situation, and I understand it's a big situation, it's a big government. But we've got to start telling people what we're going to do, and we got to start following through with it.
Congressman Tim Burchett is joining us on Super Talk 99.7. All right, so you've gone down like 5 different roads that I want to go down. So number one is, okay, so we're talking about, you mentioned Obamacare, you mentioned the subsidies and everything else. You've been in Congress. To be perfectly candid, Congressman, I can't remember how long you have been in the House of Representatives, but I guess my question is, how do we fix Obamacare? I mean, that's the problem. I agree with everybody that says, listen, if you need subsidies to fix something, and the subsidies were literally passed with the law, well, then it's dysfunctional. And so how do you fix it?
Market-driven economy. We are capitalists. Under the old system, we didn't, everybody complained about costs, but we didn't have these incredible profits reported by the insurance companies. You could pick your doctors. You could, you weren't fined if you didn't do it. This thing is it was designed to fail, and Bernie knows it, and that's why they never let him when the Democrats. Can you imagine they put him in charge of the health care committee? That's why he never allowed, as chairman, any bills to fix it. Any fine-tuning, any verification, that knocks the illegals off, any of that, none was allowed. You've got 24 states that we've tried to audit, and they refused the federal government. They'll take our money, but then when we step in and say, hey, you need to follow the rules, they're not abiding by that, and we've got to get it through the courts. And those are the kind of things we've got to do. But I think allowing the doctors and the patients at the table at the negotiations, and as far as I'm concerned, these insurance companies are the money changers because they don't want it to change. They would love a single pay system because it would just go through them, and then they would take their cut off the top. It's a very crooked system, and it was designed to fail, and the insurance companies are getting fat at our loss, and that's exactly what's happening.
6:15.
And several Republicans I've been in Congress for 8 years. You asked that earlier, but several Republicans have some very that could have bill ideas and plans and stuff they can put in place if we just start down that road. Again, we got to get some guts.
Yeah, I very much agree with you. And bottom line is, with Obamacare, there are a lot of things wrong with it. I've actually got an expert coming up here in the 7 o'clock hour going to talk about that. All right, so Congressman, we had some elections. I don't know if you've been on WTN since those elections, but tell me what are your reflections on what we saw last week in those elections with the Democrat victories?
I thought they were expected. We run terrible candidates, and we got to start playing hardball and quit putting people in because they paid their dues or whatever. That's how we've got these chairmen in Washington, D.C. that have been in Congress for 40 years or so. I can't tell you how many times I've seen people run for office that never get the support that should have, and that should have won. But we've got to, it starts at the top. We've got to quit with this nonsense of these people are, well, they've paid their dues, Tim. They've been working hard. I don't care. They're 75 years old. Dadgum, they don't need to be running for office. And we've got to change things. We've got to change the way we run these off, and we got to quit worrying about the national media. George W. Bush got us in a lot of trouble with, I think, with this. We're going to moderate. We're going to try to get along with the Democrats. And when they get in power, they don't want to get along with us. They do not want to get along with us. And every dadgum time we give in, like these judges, these moderate judges, we end up getting it slapped in our face. We need to go after these people with vigor and with the facts, and we win. But we're not. We're bluegrass and barbecue, and I love my bluegrass and barbecue. But it's changed. It's the internet. It's the World Wide Web. It's messaging, and it's done a lot more efficient. Every time I go to a campaign school to speak, they hardly ever ask me to speak because I'm not going to go with the usual spend all your money with these crazy consultants. And I'm always amazed at the nuances that come along. I was at a campaign school not a campaign school, a kickoff. And actually, I think it's for Marsha Blackburn when she was running for the Senate. And a guy stands up there, this bald-headed Marine named Ward Baker, stands up and he says, we're not going to go with the national media. We're not going to go with the television and all the stuff that we normally would do. He said, we're going to go Facebook and all these other things. And when he did it, I thought, this guy doesn't know what the heck he's doing, doesn't know what he's doing. And, but he knew what he was doing because he wins. Yeah. And that's the way it was going. And we got to figure out these trends, the way things are going in these campaigns. And until then, we're going to still keep electing. We're not going to win, and we're going to have mediocre candidates. And we got to start bringing up our young folks a little more. But in these races that, we knew the communist was going to win, an anti-Semitic Muslim communist was going to win New York. And, he had all the support. I'm just curious now where AIPAC and a lot of these pro-Israel groups are going to be, because you had members of Congress that they've supported in the past that support this guy. So I'm kind of curious to how that's going to play out. And, but yeah, I knew we were going to lose those races. We didn't have good candidates, and our numbers were just against us.
Congressman, last question here. President Trump announcing on Sunday most Americans will receive at least $2,000 from tariff revenue collected by the Trump administration. Some are saying, of course, he's trying to put pressure on the Supreme Court as they are thinking about and deliberating the president's decision on tariffs. And so, I don't know. There are a lot of people that are saying that needs to go through Congress and so forth. What are your thoughts on that?
You cut out on the first part. Say that again about what they were doing. I'm sorry.
It's all right. The president took to Truth Social over the weekend, and he announced that he wants to cut most Americans, he says, $2,000 in tariff revenue, basically sharing the money with the American people, most of the American people. What are your thoughts?
Right. Well, I'd rather pay down the debt, but, maybe that's just a trifling amount, but I just don't. That's what I'd rather do. But it is profit sharing, I guess, and he is a capitalist. So if he has the ability to do that, I'd say at Christmas time that'd be a great thing for America. You'd see $2,000 purchases immediately at your local big box stores. But I think the tariffs eventually are going to work for us. You're seeing all these other countries come to the table. The media keeps knocking it, and we've got to. I think that's why you're seeing labor in this country is switching sides. It's backing Trump. They backed him on the shutdown, on getting us back to work, and ultimately, I think it will work. Our economy used to be based on that, and we didn't have an income tax, and then all of a sudden we decided to switch it, and then we just got greedy. and that's what happened.
Are you worried? Are you worried, Congressman, about the Supreme Court? I mean, early indications are, anyway, that they were asking the question. It seems like they may not be siding with President Trump.
Nah, I'm not worried about them. I guess I heard somebody say one time the difference between God and a federal judge is God knows he's not a federal judge, and these guys, that's what elections are about. That's what we put people in power to appoint these Supreme Court justices, and we're getting ready to see what all that's about.
All right, Congressman Tim Burchett, always great to have you on Nashville's Morning News and Super Talk 99.7. Look forward to having you on again, and have a great rest of week. Somebody asking me, okay, so Dan, can you explain to me, is the government shutdown over or not? Well, I hate this, but yes or no, yes and no. I mean, they have the votes to reopen it. They still have some procedural hurdles to work out. It's got to go back to the House of Representatives. So it is well on its way to being open. But no, it is not currently open, but it will be very, very soon. How long, do we know how long it's going to take for it to finally reopen, Joan? Have they actually said? I think somebody, I mean, the continuing resolution goes till January 30th of 2026. But when the money starts flowing again and all that kind of stuff, still they need to work that out. Did they say when the SNAP benefits and all that kind of stuff is going to start up again? I mean, again, it's got to go through a number of different hurdles.
I believe, now this is my interpretation of it, but I believe they need to wait until it's been funded in order for them to use the money.
And that's House of Representatives. Then Correct, it's got to go to Donald Trump.
When I heard Tim Burchett say not till Wednesday or Thursday, I'm thinking, holy guacamole, like you would think they'd be flocking back today on flights so as fast as they can.
I thought the same thing. It's like take your time, Republicans, take your time. No hurry. No hurry.
It's not. That sounded as closed-minded as I could imagine anybody being about a shutdown.
Yeah, but as he said, usually they give us a couple of days. We'll have to wait and see ultimately how this whole thing plays out. Now, here, because I want to do local stuff too. Kayla Smith is an 18-year-old woman at Antioch High School. If you're watching on Super Talk TV, you are seeing this 18-year-old woman, and she has pepper sprayed her teacher in the face. And he is running out of the classroom. The students, by the way, are laughing. Again, this is at Antioch High School. And so she pepper sprays him. Do you know why she pepper sprayed him? This is a student pepper spraying a teacher. She pepper sprayed him because he took her phone. He took her phone.
Aren't they all supposed to not have phones in the classroom anymore? Isn't that what this year is all about?
I thought so, or you keep them in a bag or something. Right. I forget what the official policy is. But, I mean, she pepper sprays him right in the face. And, of course, the teachers are, there's no teachers to be found. The students, of course, are laughing. And she is just, very obnoxious. I'm going to pull this up.
Don't go in that classroom. Don't go back in the classroom. That shit's funny.
I need my phone, she says, and she just goes on and on. You pepper sprayed a teacher at least a couple of times. And so this poor teacher, Caleb Bates, out there at Antioch High School, I feel sorry for this guy. And apparently, this is the same teacher. This is what Grok says. This isn't the first time Bates has been involved in a similar confrontation at Antioch High School. In May, because I remember this story, in May of 2023, during his first year teaching at Antioch High School, Bates asked students to put away their phones in English class. An unnamed female student, reported as a 7th grader in some accounts, though high school context suggests otherwise, whatever, refused. Leading Bates to confiscate her device, she lunged at him, followed him into the hallway, and sprayed him with pepper spray 3 times. So this is a different time, apparently. So this poor guy's been pepper sprayed apparently not once but twice.
I thought in that first case he was hit in the face. They may be confusing the 2 instances.
You think so?
I do.
I don't know. Maybe.
Antioch High School, right?
Antioch High School. I was going to say, and it's mean to say, I was going to say where else, but that's not nice.
Well.
But this story, they say on November 9th, because you and I saw this on the same day, Joan, which was yesterday.
Yeah.
November 9th, 2025, a viral video from Antioch High School in Nashville, Tennessee, captured an 18-year-old senior named Kayla Smith pepper spraying her English teacher, Kayla Bates, during class. And again, you've got all these students that are doing nothing but laughing at it, which is, just horrifying. Because, this is what students do.
The first time he was punched in the head by a different student.
So, Caleb Bates, you're saying he has been punched in the head.
Yep.
Grok is saying that he has been pepper sprayed not once but twice. So what you're thinking is maybe they confused the two?
I think Grok confused it.
Okay. Well, listen, hats off to Caleb Bates, man. Dude, you are doing God's work. You've been punched in the head, and now you've been pepper sprayed. And I truly hope that this Kayla Smith, they're going to charge her as an adult, and I truly hope that Caleb Bates, the teacher, I hope that he presses charges because he should. All for her just, she's screaming that she wants her phone. Pepper spraying over a phone.
There was video of him being punched in the head, too.
This poor guy.
I know. He said he often hears from teachers who feel unsafe in the classroom and unsupported by the administrators.
Oh, Joan, this brought up, I remember back when this happened initially, this brought up all of those conversations. I forget who it was. There was a state lawmaker. I interviewed him a while back where teachers came to him and they said, we don't feel safe in schools, whether it's, I believe it was Metro Nashville schools. Antioch is part of Metro Nashville, I think, right? So, you have these teachers, they don't feel supported by the parents. They don't feel supported by the schools. They don't feel supported by upper management. Sam, can you confirm, is the Antioch High School part of Metro Nashville School?
Yes, I can confirm that. Yeah.
It is.
And also, apparently, in a separate incident on Halloween, Antioch High School's varsity football team was forced to forfeit a Thursday night game following violations of the school's district code of conduct, according to the principal, where a video circulated on social media showing several individuals throwing clothing and a helmet at a teenager inside of a locker room. And this is the same shooting where earlier this year we had a shooting.
You know what? Hey, none of this matters, guys. None of this matters. Adrian Battle has her new bathroom.
Ugh.
That's all that matters with Metro Nashville schools.
Okay, you want to hear about the punishments for these kids?
Yeah, go ahead.
Now, according to district discipline policy, using pepper spray and assaulting a teacher both fall under a type 4 behavior, which does not result in automatic expulsion.
Are you kidding?
From Fox 17. The punishment options of type 4 behaviors vary widely. The punishment could be as little as a day of school, school suspension, or as severe as getting expelled, but they don't have, there's no set, the teachers don't have to choose this. The administrators don't have to expel that student. And according to Fox 17, this girl is going to be charged with a misdemeanor crime.
Fox is reporting she's going to be charged with a misdemeanor?
Yes, mid-state student faced a misdemeanor assault charge after the viral video.
After pepper spraying an unarmed innocent teacher.
Court.
How is that?
She's 18.
She's 18.
Who? Can I ask this question? Because I should know, but I don't. Sam, who is this up to? Your parents. Call your parents. Let's wake them up. Who is? Sam is laughing.
Oh. Hang on. Dan, you were right. This was from May 18th.
What do you mean? Tell me what you mean.
So I think that this incident that we're seeing video of now was from May 18th.
So, I don't know, because Grok is saying that happened last week. I don't know. I saw it, and it said that it was a more recent video. Or whatever. I guess it doesn't matter whether it's May or
it doesn't.
Or last week. Bottom line is that maybe it's coming through the courts now. But
perhaps.
Why
are we just seeing this video though?
So 2 months ago is when he was attacked after reportedly catching a student cheating is when he was punched in the head.
Oh, my God.
That was only...
You know what? I wish I had this dude's phone number.
Yeah.
Like, I would just like to... Caleb Bates.
You can only be...
Hey, Sam, before you say what you're going to say, take the phone off hold.
Oh,
I would love to know if I guarantee you he's not listening, but I mean, if anybody knows Caleb Bates, have him call 615-737-9986 because he is either, we know that he's been punched in the head. We know that he's been pepper sprayed, not one, not two, but 3 times. Maybe twice, I don't know. It depends. We're getting all kinds of what's the timeline of this poor teacher getting abused?
Somebody says this is 2 years ago.
No.
Unbelievable.
What? We don't know. We don't know. The video just went viral.
So you can only be charged as a juvenile if you're over 18, if the offense was committed before your 18th birthday.
So this is what Grok says. On November 9th of 2025, a viral video from Antioch High School in Nashville captured 18-year-old senior named Kayla Smith pepper spraying her English teacher, Caleb Bates, during class. The altercation began when Bates confiscated Smith's phone for violating the school's no-phone policy, and on it goes. So Smith was arrested on site by Metro Nashville police and charged with assault. The school expelled her immediately. Prosecutors pursuing criminal charges. Let's see. I mean, yeah. So there's all these different stories about how this guy has been assaulted and pepper sprayed and all this. So I don't know. I think suffice to say, Caleb Bates, you put in your time. Please find a better school district where, you read. Can I just say this? You see this going on at Antioch High School. And listen, I don't know how it works with teachers, but why wouldn't he go and get another better job someplace else instead of working at Antioch High School?
Yeah.
Whether he was pepper sprayed, last week or 2 months ago or 3 months ago, hit in the head 5 months ago, 4 months ago, 6 months, I don't know. But why would he stay at that school? Like, I guess that's my question. Like, do you get paid? Do you get paid better by the threat level of the school? That would be my question. Because if I were him, I'd go work for a private school or go work in Wilson County or whatever.
Oh, that becomes the catch-22 of being in that position. So you want to be a public school teacher, and you want to more often than not. I just, from my experience as an former MMPS student, not a lot of right-leaning or independent individuals working for the school.
Yeah.
So then you go to a private school that goes, well, what are your values? And you're going to get caught between a rock and a hard place. Either you can go, live out what you believe and try to educate the general public in the public school system and reap the rewards of doing your job, like being assaulted and pepper sprayed, or, you can maybe figure out a better path that'll get you hired at a private school, just saying.
Yeah. Well, we'll have to wait and see what happened. Why? So it is interesting. Why it is now this video suddenly went viral, I don't know. But people are saying, let's see here. Stale news, Mandis. Brian says it's aggravated assault. Let's see here. Somebody popped in and said that they were a teacher. I was 3173. I was I was a high school teacher. This is 3173. I was a high school teacher at Antioch High School when Dr. Battle, her name was Koger, when my principal, okay, so this teacher basically says that they left Antioch High School when Dr. Battle took office, and this person is at a much happier place leaving Metro schools. Yeah, that's the thing. That's a former teacher on line one. I don't know. Should I take a former teacher story real quick? Just real quick?
Yeah, she says she understands why he'd stay.
All right, hold on. Let me talk to this teacher real quick. Hey, what's your name? Or if you don't want to give your name, I totally get it.
Hey, Dan, it's Dana in Shelbyville. And I teach at church. I don't teach in school, but I do know what it's like to want to make a difference in kids' lives. And he's probably in a great environment to get to do that. Yeah. And he may have already made a positive change in a lot of students, but this one is the one you get to see that makes it say, is it worth it? But I think a great teacher who's there for the right reason probably goes through a lot of those things because they do see where they're making a difference in some other lives, and maybe that's his situation. I don't know.
Do you think this teacher will get an apology from this girl that decided to pepper spray him 3 times? You think this girl will ever come up and apologize? I guess that's the other question. Do you think she'll actually learn anything, this girl, from pepper spraying this kid, this teacher?
I don't think consequences come anymore for anybody to learn anything, and that's the problem in this world. But I was thinking of him and thinking about good teachers that I've had, and they were there to make a difference in kids' lives. And my son just played football there, a week ago, and he was worried because of all he hears about that school. So I think it's deeper than that student. I mean, somebody, I don't know. Yeah, it just gets harder and harder, and I don't know. I just was thinking of that teacher and thinking maybe that's why he stayed.
Yeah, you know what? I would thank you, Dana. I do. I'm gonna try to get in touch with Caleb Bates, see if anybody can. He probably won't speak about this particular student or situation because he is.
You'd be hard pressed to get him to speak against the school district in general.
Well,
I just want to know.
Have a civil case.
I want to know. No. I want to know why he stays.
Yeah.
I want to know why he stays and why he is still a teacher. Because that fascinates me. I mean, I love that he is, and I love what Dana said, that these teachers are trying to, they're in a position to save lives or to change lives, to impact lives. And ultimately, I think that's what a lot of teachers want to do. And certainly Antioch High School is a place where perhaps they could impact some lives. But, at what cost to your own sanity?
Yeah,
I guess would be my.
We just saw that case settled the other day, that teacher that was shot by her 6-year-old student.
Yep.